Hey anime defenders, ready to find out which characters will dominate the battlefield and which ones are just here for show? You're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into the special anime defense tier list, where we'll rank every unit from the best of the best to the ones that might need a little more love. Whether you're building your dream team or just curious about where your favorite character stands, we've got you covered. So, if your roster is looking a little thin with C tier and D tier units, don't sweat it. The gacha gods might be stingy now, but with our tips, you'll know exactly who to keep an eye out for and who to bench. Let's get into it and start building that unstoppable squad. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking units in special anime defense. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Sasuke Kid and Narito Kid. Alright, let's dive into the D tier units in special anime defense, and trust me, you'll want to steer clear of these guys. We're talking about Sasuke Kid and Narito Kid, both rare ground units, but honestly, the only thing rare about them is how rarely you'll want to use them. These units are the definition of dead weight. They might seem like a decent choice when you're just starting, but trust me, you'll regret relying on them. They're about as useful as a chocolate teapot in a sauna, just not worth it. Now, don't get me wrong, they might help you scrape through the early stages, but the moment you get anything better, swap them out faster than you can say, "Why did I even use these?" Sasuke Kid and Narito Kid are essentially the bottom of the barrel, the kind of units that make you question your life choices if you're still using them past the tutorial. They'll hang in there for a bit, but if you keep them around too long, you're in for a world of hurt. In summary, these units are pure fodder. If you're desperate, they can help you get through the opening stages, but honestly, they're better off sitting on the bench. The sooner you replace them, the better. So, do yourself a favor. Don't get attached, don't get comfortable, and for the love of all things anime, don't keep these guys around any longer than necessary. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Goku. Alright, so let's talk about Goku, a rare ground unit in special anime defense that, well, let's just say, falls into the C tier for a reason. Now, don't get me wrong, Goku isn't completely useless, but it's definitely not going to carry you through the tougher stages. Think of Goku as that friend who's fun to hang out with, but not exactly the first one you'd call in an emergency. You know, they're there for you in the beginning, but eventually you're going to want someone a little more dependable. Honestly, if you're just starting out, Goku might seem like a decent option. They can help you push through those early levels without too much trouble. But here's the thing, don't get too attached. As you progress, you'll quickly realize that Goku's potential is pretty limited. It's like buying a car that's great for your first year of driving, but eventually needs to be traded in for something with a bit more horsepower. Sure, Goku will get you where you need to go at first, but you'll soon find yourself looking for a serious upgrade. So, while Goku and other C-tier units aren't completely terrible, you shouldn't invest too much time or resources into leveling them up. They're kind of like a stopgap solution. Good for now, but not for long. You'll want to keep an eye out for better units as soon as you can, because if you're serious about staying competitive in special anime defense, you'll need a team that packs a real punch. Goku's just not gonna cut it when things get tough. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Saboto, Gen, Sasuke Curse Mark, and Arriva Reaper. Alright, let's talk about the B tier units in special anime defense. Now, these guys, Saboto, Gen, Sasuke Curse Mark, and Arriva Reaper are all decent enough, especially if you're just starting out. If you're new to the game, you'll find these units super helpful for getting through those early levels. They're like that reliable friend who's always there when you need them, but they won't win any awards for being outstanding. They're good, just not great. But here's the thing, once you start tackling the tougher content, like those hard mode levels, you're gonna notice these units start to lag behind. Don't get me wrong, they'll still get the job done, but you'll be working a lot harder than you would with some higher tier characters. It's like driving a solid old car. It'll get you from point A to B, but you're definitely not winning any races. Now, if you're in a pinch, these B tier units can fill some gaps in your lineup. Maybe you're missing a key role and one of these guys can step in temporarily, but trust me, as soon as you can, you'll want to swap them out for something better. They're not bad, but you know there's better out there, and you deserve the best, right? So, bottom line, B tier units are decent and they can hold their own for a while, especially in the early game. But as you progress, you'll want to level up, literally and figuratively. Keep these guys around if you need to, but always be on the lookout for that next upgrade. The units in this tier are in order from top left to bottom right: Gen Adult, Nobara Mark, Bulma, and Gen Nanas. Alright, let's dive into the A tier units in Special Anime Defense. These characters might not be at the very top, but don't underestimate them. They're still powerhouses that can easily help you dominate the game. If you've been eyeing those S tier units but haven't had any luck pulling them, don't sweat it. The A tier heroes we're about to talk about are fantastic alternatives that can hold their own in even the toughest battles. First up, we've got Gen Adult. This mythical rarity unit is a force to be reckoned with. Gen is perfect for those tricky missions where you need someone reliable to dish out consistent damage. He might not have the flashy abilities of an S tier unit, but trust me, he's got the guts and the power to get the job done. Next, let's talk about Nobara Mark. Also a mythical rarity unit, Nobara is a ground unit who excels in delivering some serious punishment to enemies. If you're struggling with ground enemies and need a solid unit to bolster your defenses, Nobara is your go-to. She's a bit of an underdog, but in the right hands, she can make a massive impact. And don't forget about Bulma and Gen 12. That was Dahe. Two more heavy hitters. Bulma, with her legendary rarity, might not have the mythical tag, but she's still a beast on the battlefield. And Gen Satnlads. Another mythical rarity ground unit is just as dependable as his adult version. These units are all about staying power. They'll keep you alive through those hard missions and give you the edge you need to push forward. So, if you're lucky enough to pull any of these A tier units, consider yourself set for a while. These characters are more than capable of carrying you through some of the toughest content in the game. Keep an eye on those banners and grab these heroes if you get the chance. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Shonk's Conqueror, Kahlua Whirlwind, Hosoko Bunji, and Kahlua Godspeed. Alright, let's talk about the absolute best units in Special Anime Defense, the ones that will have you dominating every battle and making your friends jealous of your squad. We're diving into the S tier, where the cream of the crop resides, and trust me, these characters are so powerful, they're practically game-breaking. First up, we've got Shonk's Conqueror, a mythical rarity ground unit that's an absolute beast. This unit isn't just strong, it's the kind of strength that makes you feel unstoppable. If you manage to get Shonk's Conqueror on your team, you're basically securing your spot at the top of the leaderboard. It's not just about raw power either, the utility and versatility here are insane. Shonk's Conqueror can adapt to almost any situation you throw at it, making it an essential part of any top tier strategy. Next, let's talk about Kahlua Whirlwind and Kahlua Godspeed, both of which are mythical rarity units that deserve a spot on your team without question. Kahlua Whirlwind brings an unmatched level of speed and finesse, slicing through enemies before they even know what hit them. Then there's Kahlua Godspeed, another ground unit that turns the battlefield into your personal playground. These two Kahlua variants complement each other perfectly, and having both on your team? Well, that's a surefire recipe for success. They're the kind of units that make every battle feel like a breeze, and don't even get me started on Hosoko Bunji. This secret rarity ground unit is the epitome of overpowered. Hosoko Bunji doesn't just win battles, it decimates the competition. The sheer strength and strategic advantages this unit offers are off the charts. It's the kind of character that when you see it in the banner, you drop everything and summon immediately. Missing out on Hosoko Bunji would be a crime against your team's potential. So, if you're serious about climbing the ranks and showing everyone who's boss, these S tier units are non-negotiable. Whether it's the raw power of Shonk's Conqueror, the agility of the Kahlua twins, or the overwhelming force of Hosoko Bunji, these characters are your ticket to victory. Make sure you snag them whenever they're available. You won't regret it. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.